Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keene. For today's Sunday weekly recap episode, we have Alana, also known as TradingFemale, joining us. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me.
Yes, and she currently has a purple microphone right now, which is just so great. Just, part of the vibe.
She switched from pink to purple.
She switched. She did.
Yeah, just for you.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to talk about what happened this week, which there was a lot. I mean, I feel like there was a lot of juicy news, which we'll get into shortly. But, we always like to get to know our guests a little bit first. And Alana, I want to hear a bit about your Web3 journey, how you got started in the NFT space, and how you became a venture capitalist at Redbeard Ventures.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely a loaded question. I got my first NFT back in June of last year. I got it at Bright Moments, which was an art gallery out in Venice. And you go in, you mint an NFT. I minted a crypto Venetian number 101. I ended up getting a girl. It had like tie-dye hair, a white dress, kind of looked like me to the point that I was like, I have rollerblades. The girl had rollerblades. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start on Twitter and I'm going to be the first IRL NFT. So like when I first started on Twitter, I was known for really taking pictures and putting my NFT in them.
So I so remember that. Like, I so remember, I'm like, oh, this is a girl that just always takes a picture with her crypto Venetian. Like, she's always like editing it into all the photos. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. So did that for a while, but then at the same time, I started learning more and more about the space. So I started being really curious about Web3, NFTs, and I ended up going to NFT New York City, which is the first time that I actually met you, Jenny. And I met Drew Austin, who's the founding partner of Redbeard Ventures. And he's like, hey, if you start sourcing deals, I'll give you carry. So I was already investing in startups, but not specifically Web3 companies necessarily. I was more of a generalist. But after meeting with him, I was like, okay, I'm already investing in startups on the side. Why don't I start sourcing deals for him in the Web3 space? Because I'm really starting to get a handle on it and I'm really just starting to dive in. And so I did that for a couple months. And then a couple months after, he brought me on to work full time for him, run the fund and the syndicate, and really just be investing in some of the top Web3 companies like Sandbox, Dapper Labs, Wilder World, Super Rare, Zedrun. They're all in our portfolio along with 100 others. And then myself, I also started the girls table to bring just more women in the space because I feel like there aren't enough, as you probably feel as well. So I just try to help educate and onboard more women.
Yeah, and the girls table is your podcast, which is audio and video. And we mentioned this right before we recorded, but ironically, my twin sister, Steph, kind of like interviewed you for your first episode, which is super cool.
Yeah, I tweeted about it being like, all right, I've been talking about this for so long. Like, I just need to start a podcast. And she's like, hey, I'll actually interview you for the first one, because that was definitely the first hurdle that I had, where it's just like, I didn't just want to stand there and do a monologue. I feel like people would get bored of me. I'd get bored of myself. So right when she said that, I was like, you know what? I should just do it. And so we did it. And since then, been trying to put out episodes, not as good as you in terms of a regimen of doing it twice weekly. I'm just trying to do it once weekly, but it's been fun.
That's awesome. Side question, what exactly is a VC? Like, I'm not super educated in like all that. And, maybe some listeners are curious as well, but yeah, what is venture capitalist? Like, what do you do? And I guess, how does that all work?
Yeah. So venture capitalists, the short answer is we invest in startups. Let's just say one day you want to go out and start a company. You need money to do that because you can't pay yourself without any funding. So basically you hope to get money from venture capitalists. So most of my day is really spent of founders, CEOs, pitching to me about their company when they're currently raising for different rounds. So a lot of times I was talking to them about their go-to-market strategy, what their past has been, why they're going to be the most successful ones in the space. So I feel like taking an example of like OpenSea, like let's just say they needed some more money to do more funding. It's like, okay, well, how are they getting traction? Why are they going to get through this market? Who are the founders? What's their background? And so it's really just looking at different companies in the space that excite me and then deciding to invest. And a lot of people in this space think, oh, then you want to go ahead and invest in like an NFT project. And Doodles has gotten funding and some of the other big projects. I see a Doodles behind you. That's what made me think about it. But I think at the end of the day, for me, it's more of the infrastructure behind Web3. So when we think about the future of a decentralized organization, well, what's going to help you actually create a DAO? What's going to help you do a marketplace? So really, I just speak to founders all day and give them money if we like them.
And for that money, you get a piece of the company.
Yep. For that money, we get a piece of the company. They say 9 out of 10 startups fail. So 9 out of 10, 90% will go to zero. But we hope that 10% of them will take off.
You hit the one, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And what's exciting about this space is in the past, the way that venture capitalists would get money was a company would go public or a company would actually go ahead and get acquired. But now in Web3, there's that other part of it where there's a token. So one of our investments, like Super Rare, has a rare token. So we were able to actually get liquidity and get money specifically in that company. But that's just an example of how Web3 is even having an impact on venture capital too.
So if a company just like goes down, right, goes to zero, like what happens as a VC? Like you guys just, oh, well, I guess all the money we invested is gone. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so they'd either hope to like have somebody last minute buy them out, maybe their technology that they had built or their website, their company, their trademarks, but most of your money probably honestly goes to zero. So good thing is we haven't had any of those, if any yet, official ones. So still hoping for the best.
And that's why you have your hands in a bunch of different pots, like, investing in a bunch of different companies. That way, if one thing fails, there's still hope for others that you're invested in.
For sure. Definitely mitigating our risks through different companies.
Yeah, you definitely see that with a lot of the like A16Z and companies like that they seem to invest in everything. Every time there's a raise, like, oh, they're part of it, they're part of it, Yeah.
Oh, 100%. You see that. You're like, how are you in every single company?
Exactly. Right.
At that point, their fund's just too big, I think.
Right. They're just like, well, just something will hit,
Yeah.
Right. Funny.
All right, Michael, let's get into the topics. What do we got this week?
All kinds of stuff. Our lists seem to be getting longer these days. But really kind of the main one, this happened 5 or 6 days ago, but it was announced that the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission in the United States, has opened kind of an inquiry or investigation, depending on who you talk to, into Yuga Labs, into the NFTs they've distributed, into the ape coin. And it kind of sent the price down a little bit. The prices come back. They're kind of about even, the apes and the mutants over the last 7 days. Yuga Labs seems to say they have not done any wrongdoing. They're happy to work. They haven't broken any securities laws. It was a lot of talk on Twitter. And of course, the people that, it's not a huge surprise. Like, why wouldn't they look into that? We all remember when we got this ape coin, it was 6 figures for every ape for people. Everyone was like, oh my God, like nobody's ever seen anything like it. So either has the SEC apparently. I don't know if you guys have any insight on how it all went down. It's nothing I'm too worried about. Honestly, I think moving forward, we need some sort of clarity around it. So I think there'll be more VC money when it is clear, when there are regulations. So let's figure it out.
I think something interesting is that if it is considered a security, obviously there's been so much insider trading in this space. So they haven't classified.
No way. Not in the NFT space.
Of course not.
Okay.
But it's interesting because they're not going to be able to go back and be like, oh, well, the founder had said that they made this deal, because right now it's not considered a security. So what are we even realistically trading? I mean, that's the main question. And also Yuga Labs does it differently, where Bored Apes are one company and then their ApeCoin is the other. But a lot of people don't really realize that, which drove, I think, the price of ApeCoin down significantly. But I think it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes because I think they're going to have to make some decisions about regulatory requirements soon. And I just don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy. It's like, it's all over the world too. I mean, Yuga Labs is a US company, so they will fall under that jurisdiction, but there's like people trading everywhere and there's so many ramifications. It's, it's really going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, it's definitely a gray area right now.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like, are we breaking the law? Are we not? Did we file our taxes differently?
I know the taxes is tough. Like I can't imagine somebody like Franklin who like got millions of dollars in ape coin, turned them all into Bored Apes. Like what is that?
And then flips for like a $50 profit.
Yeah, exactly. Like his accountant must just be like, you bastard.
What the heck?
I don't know if I ever said it on here. I remember my accountant, I sent him the ledger from whatever that website was that downloads it for you, and it said my fucking pickle like 80 times across it. And he was like, what is my fucking pickle?
Oh my gosh.
It's so confusing. Like the amount of people who have different wallets, different transactions, you're given airdrops.
I know.
Like
people give away NFTs that end up being worth 50,000. Like there's all kinds of weird stuff like that.
I by accident sent $2,500 to the wrong address.
Yeah.
Trying to buy a step and shoe. Like then that loss, like I'm
is that a loss? Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh
so.
my.
Yeah, we gotta bring on some NFT accountants soon.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea for one of our educational videos.
Yeah.
One of our educational podcasts. Yeah. Accounting. That's a great idea.
Good idea.
Yeah. Then another one that was really interesting this week, one that you put, Jen, is Magic Eden decided to move to optional royalties. Royalties are not enforceable on chain. We've all come to realize that over the last couple months. There's the websites like SudoSwap and X2Y2 that have been skirting royalties. It's a big debate. I'm a fan of royalties for the most part, especially for independent artists. And it's kind of what was like kind of promised about the blockchain and what brought all these artists and a lot of this in. And there's kind of a faction of people that don't want to pay them. Obviously, when you're trading that quickly, saving 5%, 8%, whatever it is a big deal. But it's a heated argument, like in the spaces, the royalties argument. There are strong opinions on both sides. And then obviously we saw Utes and D-Gods, whatever, Frank went to 0% royalties, made a big splash. I'm a fan of them for the most part. It gets weird when like when Azuki got announced that Zagabond, people weren't real keen on Zagabond anymore. And it started dumping, but they're still raking in, all those royalties, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That gets a little weird.
Yeah. We had the Magic Eden founders on, and they didn't tell us that alpha that they were going to be changing.
I don't think they knew.
I knew they weren't going to tell us.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have planned it out, but that wasn't too long ago. That was like a couple weeks ago.
No, they might have been pretty reactionary. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, because I know they're trying to adapt to the shifting market dynamics. Like that's what they put in their tweet. And I also noticed that, they also they're doing like a promo. I don't know for how long, but basically there's no like fees on the marketplace either for now. So they're like taking away the fees to like, I don't know, make people feel a little bit better about like, because some people are like, but you're still raking in fees, why are you taking away the royalties? They're like, okay, well, let's just do both. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's interesting because they're kind of saying, that's the way the market is shifting towards. And whether we like it or not, I'm kind of feeling like that is the way the market is shifting towards. And I'm also kind of like, I keep thinking about OpenSea. I'm like, if OpenSea does it, it's game over. Nobody else can not, everyone else is going to have to make royalties optional if OpenSea does that. So I guess we're just kind of waiting to see what OpenSea does because they're the big player in the game with ETH collections. So yeah.
It's going to be interesting because I think it did bring so many artists into the space, as you guys were saying. So the fact that now they're just like, it's actually optional. It's like, wait, I thought that was basically Web3 and all the pros of Web3 and why I should make all this art so that I get royalties and it's all tracked on the blockchain. They're like, yeah, it might be tracked, but we don't now have to give you anything for it. So it's just like interesting how this is just being switched. I could see why people are angry about it.
Yeah. It's also a little bit short-sighted for the independent artists as well, that to take away those royalties, because what we've always talked about from the beginning is that in 50 years or 100 years, their family, X-Copy's family, can still be getting royalties, or whoever else, Ferocious and whoever, like those royalties in 100 years from now should still be getting paid, like Picasso. Like when Picasso's get sold, probably his family should get a little taste,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It'll just have to be on the collectors, whether, and some people will and some people won't. I think, I don't think other people should try to push people to do it or to not. Like, I think people will just end up making their own decisions. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think all of a sudden, I don't know. I also kind of feel like people are thinking about it like, oh, this means 0% royalties, but it's like, no, it just means they're optional, which means I think in the beginning, most people will still pay royalties, but then, it will start to be less and less, like it just will. But, and especially for like big collections that have already raised a lot, you're just kind of like, oh, do they really need this extra money? But then for independent artists, I definitely can see people feeling a little more like, it's like you want to support the local mom and pop shop, and you're like, screw the big companies. I want to support, my local shops and everything. So I can see people being a little more supportive of the smaller ones and paying royalties, but then kind of skimping on like, the Bored Apes and the Doodles and those that have already gained a lot of money and also raised a lot of money and stuff like that. Or even the ones that have rugged.
I've heard both sides of the story. I know there's a lot of people trying to make the royalties enforceable at the smart contract level. And I'm not sure if that's going to be possible or not, but it could be room for innovation. And then I think about, projects moving forward can do it. But what about somebody like VeeFriends or Gary V? He gets 10%. And he doesn't want to give that up. That's like one of the main things he always talked about. So like, can you go back and change your smart contract? Or is he stuck with that? Like, would he mitigate to a new contract? You know what I mean? Like things like that are it's gonna be real. There's a lot of really interesting facets.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but I agree with Jenny where I'm like, do the Bored Apes really need that? Like, I'd be like, like, it's one thing when you go into a coffee shop and they're like, do you want to tip 20%? It's like, oh, it's just a small, cute one. But it's another thing when you go to Starbucks and you're like,
I'm like, no, I don't want to tip 20% at Starbucks. But then I'm like, oh, yeah, this local one. Yeah, of course.
That's what I see this though as. It's like, okay, if it's any big project where it's also like thousands of dollars, it adds up to be like, do I really want to give them at if I owned a Bored Ape? Like, hell no, like they've had enough. But it's like, okay, if it is that one-on-one art, I'm buying it. Yeah, like, sure, I don't really care. So I see that, but we'll see what they're able to do because I think that will be interesting.
Yeah, Bored Apes by themselves did, I'll do the math real quick, like 60 Ethan in royalties over the last week, and Mutants did about 50. So they're still, it's a lot of money.
Wow.
110 ETH, bringing in just residual. It's not too bad.
Not too bad at all. I'll gladly take that.
Really. So, that is it. It's really interesting to see how that goes down. Speaking of OpenSea, their CFO left within the past week as well. I didn't see any reason why, but I just kind of saw that pop up on the timeline.
Yeah, I saw a couple people talking about it, but I couldn't seem to find the CFO's Twitter. I don't know if they have a Twitter or not, but I was trying to find out more info about it. But yeah, there wasn't too much about that. But that is interesting, right?
Yeah, I wonder if Devin Fisner would ever come on. Because remember, I had that panel with him he's the CEO. He's like the founder.
Oh, that's the founder.
You should try and find him. Yeah. Because I had that panel with him at the first NFT NYC.
You should reach out and be like, yo, do you remember me?
I wish I could. You can't DM him. So I gotta try and find an email. Okay. Yeah, he's got his DMs off.
Got it.
If anybody knows Devin.
Has let go like 1 in 5 people, like 20% of their workforce, I'm pretty sure. So since the bear market. But
they definitely did. They let a lot of people go. Did you guys see the CNN project, the news that happened with that CNN vault, if you remember that?
So I was so confused by that and why they picked 20%. Like I was doing some research on it. I'm like, why are you refunding 20% unless you expect to like them to go up significantly? But like you're a huge company, you just got all of this money. Why? I just didn't get the number.
Yeah, right. It's like really bad, just PR. It's like, okay, never mind, everybody. We'll give you a couple
Wait, they're refunding the minters or the holders? Like, who are they refunding?
That's a great question.
Like, do you have to turn it in or something? Like, here you go, give me my 20%. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, in their Discord, supposedly they have like a 1,200 person Discord. It's pretty crazy how small it is for CNN. Somebody mishandled that project badly. It was on the Flow blockchain. I didn't realize, so I was trying to look for it on OpenSea and couldn't find it. But
interesting.
Yeah, it just said basically like we're doing some math and we're figuring it out and expect around 20%. It didn't even say like exactly, and it was like they'll be processed sometime later, and it'll come in like Flow token or a stable coin. Like they didn't.
What
really
did they release on that? The vault? Like I do remember, but I'm like, I remember that coming out. I just don't remember like what they
were like news moments.
I feel like they were trying to copy Time with their pieces, but like. I think Time and Keith spent way much more time in the space to fully understand it than and I was just like, well, you guys want this news? Like, here you go. And it's like,
they got bad advice and they're just like, we're out of here. I don't know. Like they should have done it a different way. They should have been like, I don't even know, but they should have done it either refund 100% or let someone try and do something with it. Like you can't it's what's going to happen next time they want to come in. It's going to look awful.
Yeah.
Poor CNN. And so let's get into some of this other news. I remember Wolf Game. Remember the Wolf Game thing that happened? Beanie pumped it originally, and it's actually doing really well right now. And I had bought a bunch of the land. I had bought a bunch. I wasn't into it, but I bought a bunch of the land. It did really well on it. But
play back the tapes.
Yeah, no, you can play back the tapes. You can play back the tapes. And
you flipped a bunch?
Well, I did a while back, and this was like 6 months ago even. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. And I held on to 1, and then it went up to like 0.6, and then it went down to 0.5, and this was just a few days ago. And I sold it for 0.5. It was just a piece of land. And then like a half hour later, I get a message from some guy on Twitter. He's like, yo, your land had a 2 ETH floor, buddy. I was like, oh. I just floored it. I had no idea. I didn't look at it's a good reminder to look at what you have. I didn't even look at that.
Like your specific trade.
Yeah, I must have had some kind of special.
How do you know if it was like liquid? Like just because the floor was.
Yeah, I know for sure.
But,
yeah, I was like, it's just a reminder to watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check the lowest ask of your most valuable trait.
Yeah. And something really cool happened in Miami last night, and I was very upset I wasn't able to make it down. But the Magic City Apes, that group of all those people that I always talk about, they had Laura set this up, the Miami Ape Laura, who's on the council, and they had a meetup with the founders last night down in South Beach and had a whole party with Gordon and
Garga, yeah,
Gargamel.
That was cool. I saw Storm, who we had on the pod.
Yeah, she was there, I think.
I saw a picture of her there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was in Miami. I thought that was LA for some reason. But
no, I was in Miami. It was a whole crew of people. I was very disappointed. I should have.
Why didn't you go?
Well, it started at like 6 and my kids, and it just would have been too much to get up out of the house that early.
Right.
It's like an hour away to get down to South Beach, and I just couldn't get out. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I had to adult. It looked fun. Now, I mean, the whole crew was there. Illa was there, and like there was a lot of my friends were there, and like a lot of people were there. I definitely really wanted to go. But,
that's awesome. A taste of Art Basel.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, Alana, you're throwing an event, or it's like a private event, though, right?
I am. Yeah, it's a women's brunch, but it might be switching spots because I don't know if you know Shira Lazar. She wants to kind of collaborate on something. She's awesome. She's a moderator at a lot of different conferences and she's like crushes it. But so we're either going to switch it and plan one together or she's going to do one day, then we're going to collaborate. But yes, I sent you over the link. So stay tuned.
Yes.
Michael, are you going as well to Art Basel?
Yeah, I live down here, so I've been actually going to Art Basel for like 15 years, believe it or not.
Oh wow, this will be my first time.
Yeah.
Last year I was in Florida for Thanksgiving, and then
Yeah,
I
it was
left
crazy
the day
last
of.
year, right? Yeah.
No, I missed it. I left the day up.
Oh, because you were there. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I have work, and now it's like I love my job. I actually get to go for work, which is even better.
Are you coming in early for the Metaverse Miami, the one like the event before Art Basel?
So there's 3 conferences of where
I know
like
there's a lot going on.
Central Con, there's a Women's Summit, and then there's another one. So I'm speaking at the Women's Summit and the like Summit of Miami, if either of those.
When's the Women's Summit?
It is the 30th and the 1st.
Okay. I'm trying to plan when I'm going as well to Miami. I'm like, what day should I fly in? But you're yeah, okay. So I think I'll probably come in like the 28th or 29th or something.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, it's a Web3 summit. I just sent you it over.
That's cool. Oh, sweet.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I mean, Art Basel's so much fun. We were all down there last year, and it gets pretty wild.
I've heard only good things. Like I should have stayed last year, but I'm pretty excited. I think now it's been like a good break from conferences. Like I went to Milan for Horizon Labs, but other than that, I've had a break. So I'm like ready to go when Art Basel comes.
Nice. Speaking of conferences, I'm actually going to NFT London. I have it booked.
Hey, wait.
I know I talked about it for a while.
That's like next month.
Yep, I'm leaving. I have a wedding in Pennsylvania on the 30th, and then I'm leaving that evening, like 1 a.m. on a red eye out of Newark, going to Porto, Portugal, and then I'm going to London, and then I'm going to go to Madrid. But I'm going to be in London for NFT NYC. And something really cool that I did, not NFT NYC, NFT London, but it's run by the NYC people. And one thing really cool I did is I was buying my flights on Travala with ETH. So I bought my flight home from Madrid to Miami for a quarter ETH. Direct flight.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, really cool. It was really nice to be able to do that. And I'm going to get some hotels, buy it with ETH.
Oh, shoot. Now you're going to be living luxury now that you've opened that portal.
I know.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. You're going to have to report. You're going to have to report back on how.
Yeah, I will. I've already talked to a bunch of people that are going to be there. Hunter O'Reilly, Crypto Novo, a couple of my buddies, Af and Neosporin, who we always talk about, lives there. So real excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make a video like Jen always does.
Oh my
God. We need a Michael vlog.
No.
And if Michael Keene takes NFT,
who's going to edit it?
I'll edit it. Send me all the footage.
I'll send you the footage.
I can honestly edit it for you. I will.
Oh my God.
Put it all on a Google Drive.
All right, we'll see.
I got you. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know. I'm hoping I'm really hoping people vlog like it or something. Cause I don't know. I want to see what's happening. And I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of like satellite events with some of the projects that are like local, and everything.
I don't know how you did it for VCon. I was like exhausted every day. Then I'm like, yep, there's Jenny from the blockchain. I'm like, she's still going. I'm like, I didn't even have time to like lay down. You were like moderating panels to like doing your videos. I'm like, damn, crushing it. But
thank you.
She's a pro.
Honestly, I think because I was doing like 3 or 4 vlogs a day, and I think I was doing 3 or 4, and then I was doing like 2. I guess 2 to 4, but I think kind of breaking it up so that it's like a little bit less in each vlog is like a little bit helpful. And then I was just like, I had short time frames. And then whenever I had a little bit of free time, I would just like work on it. Cause I'm like, I need to put this out ASAP. And when I got home, I was exhausted too, but I would just lay down and like edit. And the adrenaline, like that's what kept me going. I don't know.
I love it. It's so funny. I made one video of just like Gary Vee putting us in first class, like having the cards for all the speakers, the hotel room, right? I made like, let's just say 10 videos. I was like, I'm going to make a cool TikTok. Never made the TikTok.
Oh no.
It's like, no. So that's why I give you so many props, because I can even get like a 10-second TikTok. So I'm like, I don't know how you made those.
Yeah, it has to be. No, but that's the thing too. Like if I wouldn't have done it in real time, I would have never like it's like you have to do it in real time. Otherwise the time passes and then boom, you just feel like, oh no, it's too late. Or you just like kind of forget about it, or all these other things you have to do start piling up, so oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be vlogging though. You'll see Alana in my vlog. She was of course in my VCon vlog, I think on the day one vlog or something. I don't know.
I think so. I think it was at the barbecue or whatever
at that first event outside. But I will definitely be vlogging for Art Basel. So make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Jennifer_studio. And Alana, make sure you're following her on Twitter. TradingFemale is her handle. Because she's gonna be the one throwing events. So yeah, make sure you're following her so you can get all the info, all the alpha.
Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate
it. Twitter plug. Okay, anyway, back to it. Oh yeah, I'm following Michael too, I guess.
Don't bother. I mean, at this point,
no, for your NFT London vlog, maybe.
Oh yeah, for my vlog that I'm gonna do.
Ticket, yeah. For your vlog that I'm gonna do. If you actually put footage together, and upload it.
So I have to talk and be like, hey, here I am at NFT London.
No, you don't have to. You can do one where you're not in it. You can just film what is happening. You can be one of those people. Okay. Yeah. There's different.
I wonder what it's going to be like. I wonder if it's going to be like a big, huge thing. They have a lot of speakers, so I guess they're expecting decent amount of people. I'm not sure what to expect.
We were looking at going, but I went to Milan and everything, and I really was just like, I can't do it. Like, and then I have
so much
shows for a wedding. I was like, it's far from LA. It is really like
it's far from LA, sure.
15-hour flight. I'm like, I'll be at the next one. I couldn't do it.
I mean, there's ones constantly. There's ETH Lisbon's happening in just a couple of weeks, I think. Ooh. So there's stuff. Yeah, there's stuff everywhere. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited just to meet some new friends, and that's what it's all about at these conferences. I know the Chimpers is having a party. Nice. Who else was Avastars? You have your Avastar on the wall right there. They emailed that they're having a party. I haven't seen a huge list yet, but there's gonna be some good stuff.
Yeah, it'll be dope.
Yeah, I think so. I'm very excited. What else? You have some other cool stuff on your list here. The Deadfellas and Steve Aoki are bringing a fashion collection at the Deadfellas Halloween party.
Yes, Deadfellas is throwing I wish I lived in LA. They're throwing a Halloween party on the 29th in LA. And honestly, I feel like they're gonna I feel like Steve Aoki is gonna be there because they're dropping the collab with Steve Aoki on that day. And you're gonna be able to buy the fashion merch and stuff. But I don't know. If I lived in LA, I would totally
IRL merch, like real merchandise.
Real life.
NFTs?
Real life.
Cool. Okay.
Real merch.
I don't own Deadfellas, but I'm in LA, so might as well look at it.
You should hit up Betty because I think you can also have a Dead Friends, which I think those are 0.1 or something like that. But I don't know, maybe hit up Betty or something, or maybe I wonder if they have +1s or I don't know, but you should totally go to that.
Try and get a media pass. That's what I got for NFT London. They approved me for 2 media
really
passes.
Wait, so you're going to NFT London for free? Wow.
Wait, you got a media pass? That's awesome.
Andy told our producer when the first time we went to NFT NYC last November, he's like, oh, they gave me media passes. And that's the first time I ever even heard of it. And now everywhere I go, I'm like, I'll have a media pass, please.
Michael's like,
for the podcast.
Is there a media pass available for me?
And they just emailed me back. They're like, we approved you for 2. So I gave one to Neosporin. And I mean, I'm going to talk about the event on here, but And with the media pass.
You're going to vlog.
Yeah, I'm going to vlog. I am a vlogger now.
We're pressuring you to vlog.
I am going to vlog, everybody. Expect that. Now, a lot of times you get to go backstage and do different things you wouldn't even normally do with a regular pass. It's kind of better than the one you pay for, and it's expensive. It's $800 for a ticket to that. It's really expensive.
I also never go to the conferences. I'm always
same. I know. You walk around one time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's still awesome. Now everybody's going to be asking for a media pass.
I know.
No, please don't pretend you're the NFT Catcher Pod.
No, definitely don't do that. No, and you can make up another thing.
Yeah, make up another one. Yeah. Still someone else's podcast URL.
Andy will sue. He's very litigious. So if you
now we have to get all the media passes like way in advance. Like
oh yeah, exactly.
We're like, no, it got taken up.
Yep. The NFT LA one, I got a media pass for NFT LA, and they were like, link us to all your content about the thing. And like, if you don't send us links, they were like, it might affect your media pass in future years. I was like, I just sent him a link to the podcast and we talked about it. And I didn't even talk that favorably because that wasn't the best conference ever.
Oh yeah, wait, you did talk shit about that one. But are they even gonna listen? Like, you could have sent them.
No, they're not gonna listen. I know.
It did suck though. It was so far. Everything to drive, LA traffic and getting downtown.
Right. Downtown LA is not very nice. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
Yeah. But either's Times Square. I really hope NFT NYC gets away from Times Square. That's kind of, I don't know, not my favorite place to stay. I'm going to stay somewhere different next time.
Yeah. Yeah, either that or everything in the same spot. I guess actually no, it's kind of nice that things are in different spots because then if people stay in different spots. But yeah, I'm always trying to go to like everything, and then I'm like, oh shoot, it actually takes a long time to like Uber or like take the bus or what subway or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like things take a long time to travel.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I usually Uber
all traffic.
But the Uber's actually Ubers at this one in June,
faster.
And it was so expensive. Like the Ubers were crazy expensive. I remember for whatever reason in New York, like way more than they were last night.
Oh my god! And those New York, like, do you guys know those things where it's like that person's riding the bike and like you're in the back?
Yeah, and they're always playing New
Oh my
York.
god! Yeah, and I was like walking. Oh my gosh! You maybe you'll know if you sit
in the back, like
you sit in the back, like and there's like a guy in the front.
They pedal.
Okay, yeah. And so I was like, I was with Suki and Steph, and we were about to like walk to an event because we're like, oh no, traffic's way too crazy. We'll be faster if we walk. And we were like running late, and we're like in heels, and we're like trying to run. And then we see one of those guys. And they're like, hey, you want to ride? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Like, how expensive can it be?
He's probably like $100.
A freaking couple miles, right? Yeah, it was literally 100. I got out. He's like, okay, it'll be $100. I was like, 100? Like, I was, like,
you didn't ask?
Like, oh, shit. No. Like, no, I didn't ask, which I was also like, why didn't I ask? Like, I'm so dumb. Why didn't I ask? But yeah, I was like, well, that's probably not that much. Like maybe like, $30.
The whole way down, he's thinking, how much, the whole way down, he's thinking, how much can I get these girls for you? It's
I know.
Like, what am I getting you?
No, but it was fun. Like he was freaking blasting the music. Like there was lights. Like he was weaving through traffic. I felt like I was like, maybe gonna die a few times, but then we didn't. It was kind of like thrilling. Like I was like, oh shoot, this is really cool. So yeah, it was a great experience, but like really expensive. So
not worth the $100.
Not worth, like I would not do that again. But it was a nice one-time thing. But anyway, those bike people, they really make out. Like I'm sure they're raking in the bacon, when tourists are in town.
Yeah, I guess so. Apparently.
Like,
yeah, it's like getting on the gondolas in Venice. They charge like $200 for like a half-hour ride.
Oh man, I was like, should I negotiate this? Like, is this negotiable?
I
was like, let me not be
dude, 100. Right.
No, I mean, should I have been like, oh, I'll give you 80 or I'm running out? Like,
you're like, I'm going to give you $50 and I'm going live on Facebook right now.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Man, if you don't ask, they got you. He knew the whole time.
And I was like, oh man, this guy got me good.
Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. So what did Magic Johnson have to say about the NBA Top Shot on Jimmy
Kimmel? It was totally like a paid thing that like Top Shot paid him to talk about it because of the way they like weaved it into the convo. It wasn't exactly organic, but it was cool. Top Shot posted a clip of Magic Johnson on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and he was talking about his moments, and he was saying, it's just like card collecting, but digital. Like that's how he was describing it, which was cool.
They were like, just say it's just like card collecting.
Like just mention something. But yeah, it was cool. They talked about it for a solid like 10 seconds.
Okay. That's cool.
Short life.
But it was a big deal on Twitter, so that's why I added
Was it? I didn't even see it.
Yeah. Well, for Top Shot, like whenever there's, some big, bringing Magic Johnson moments on the platform was huge for collectors. Like they were really looking forward to it. That's not something that we had in the beginning for Series 1. So when that came out, like people were really excited. So it was like, having him talk about it a little bit was, I don't know, it was cool to see. So yeah.
Nice. and Doodles is doing a doodle putt. Is that like miniature golf?
Yes, I don't
At
know
Basel?
exactly what, but they announced, which by the way, if you are now thinking of coming to Miami during the Art Basel time, Doodles is throwing an event. I don't know if it's going to be open to everybody or what the situation is going to be, but they said they described it as a brand new live experience, and it's going to be on December 2nd and 3rd. So yeah, they just actually announced that this week, and I am so excited.
Austin City Limits was open to everybody, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be like Austin City Limits, where no, not Austin City Limits, South by Southwest.
South by Southwest, yeah.
Where basically what they did was it was open to the public, but there was a super long line to get in, and they weren't really letting in people like, that quick. So, you had to wait a long time if you didn't own a doodle, but if you did own a doodle, then you basically were just like VIP and you can just go right in. So I have a feeling it'll probably be something like that, because they're always really good at bringing in, the masses and like bringing in other people into like their experiences and stuff that they do, unless it's like a holders exclusive thing. But I feel like this is, going to be similar to that South by Southwest experience.
They always crush it. So I feel like they're going to do something insane.
Yeah, they're always just, honestly, the events, like that's like the number one reason I'm like holding my doodle. Like that's my main favorite perk about having a doodle. Just like, yes, experiences. And then I have my duplicator too. So, might lend it to my sister or something to get in. I don't know. Yeah, I lent it to her for the Doodles event in, I think Miami was the last. I forget what the last thing was, whether it was New York or Miami, but she didn't even end up going. I was like, I could have sold this. It was going for a lot at the time. But anyway.
Yeah. Doodles is one, like you said, if this PFP, if it comes back and it holds and there's any value in this PFP ecosystem, Doodles is one that I do think will do really well. I think that's going to pay off for you financially.
Dude, you need a doodle.
I would almost get one at this price. They are right now 7.8. They're down 8% in the last 7 days. I would almost get one, but like I've been saying, I'm a bit gun shy, just kind of holding on to ETH, because I know as soon as I start spending ETH is when ETH is going to go back to 3,000. Like the moment I get rid of it, like
fair.
So.
All right. Well, I always have to peer pressure you every now and then.
I know. Yeah. I would love a Doodles, honestly. If you remember, I don't know if people remember that are listening, but when Doodles was like 3 ETH, I remember I said, I was like, I think I should get one. I think it's ready to. And then it was like the next episode, it was like 5. And I was like, I guess I missed it. And then it was like 7 and 9. It went all the way up to like 25. And
oh, yeah. Oh, did it go to 25? Wow. I know. My sister loves to remind me. My sister loves to remind me that I could have like been rich if I sold my doodle at the top. I'm like, why do you have to tell me these things? You could have sold it for this much. I'm like, okay, thanks. This doesn't help me now. Like,
I have too many of those where I'm like, I just don't want to look like.
I know.
The highest I see is 23 ETH on May 6th. 10 months, wow, 5 months ago. 5 months ago.
Wow, really? Only 5 months ago. Wow.
Yep. And it's been really steady around where it's at now since for 2 months. It's been really steady.
Yeah.
It was 15. It was about double the price in June. So it went from May to June. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty volatile. I see it. I mean, it's been really steady for a couple months. I see it. They're going to do something. You know what I mean? They're like sitting back. They raised all that money. They're not just going to like sit on their laurels. I can't imagine.
Yeah. I actually, speaking of doodles, I went to Austin City Limits yesterday and I saw Diplo, which honestly, because he was at like the holders exclusive doodles party, and like he like performed or whatever. And that was kind of cool. But anyway, Diplo just cracks me up because I feel like he does like the bare minimum now because he's so like just like goated, like everyone just knows him. And I don't know, it's just so funny to me. I'm like, why doesn't he ever seem excited? But yeah, I thought about the Doodles event and the Doodles party.
Were there a lot of the Doodles party at you saw?
It was an after party. It was after the South by Southwest experience. They did like this like holders only party, and it was like small intimate event. And Diplo like did his like set, and that was when they showed a bunch of people's space doodles in the background of it. And
not yesterday.
No, not yesterday. Yesterday, he just did like a set, and I was just
okay.
About...
Were there NFT events at Austin City Limits?
No, there was no NFT anything.
God, I got confused. I thought you were saying there was a.
There should be an NFT festival. That would be cool, but no, there was no.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyway, also, we got to talk about our 100th episode is coming up.
Yeah.
By the way.
Ooh,
can you believe that?
Thank you.
100 episodes.
Oh yeah, we're pumped. Which also, we had decided several episodes ago that we were going to have this mission with all of you guys to get to 100 ratings by 100 reviews. And at the time, we were at 82 reviews. I have an update for you all. We are at 98 ratings right now. 98 on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
So we are so close. We're 2 away. We just need 2 more people to write a review on Apple Podcasts. And we're a couple episodes away from the 100th. I think we'll definitely get there. But man, we are so excited. Thank you to everybody who rated us. And don't worry, the 100th episode will be a great one. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, just wanted to give an update.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Our community is incredible. Seeing all the reviews come pouring in, and they're always so.
And we're
nice.
saving them. We're not going to read them until the 100th. So we're saving them. But we've been reading them, but we're not going to read them publicly until the 100th. So yeah.
What else did we see going on?
So I'll do it from my phone later.
Hey, thank you. Sweet.
I don't know if I ever wrote one. I don't think I ever have.
Oh my God, I'm
Greatest podcast of all time.
If you ever look at my tweets, like I'm always my first liker. So you got to write one about yourself.
Hey. I rated us 5 stars, but I didn't write anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think like once you rate, like you can't go back and write. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I can actually I should test that out. But I saw Andy, our producer, he had written one like a long time ago, but I was looking through all the usernames. I was like, wait,
Andy's review,
no, because he was like, I might be biased, but this is the best.
His review was like,
ever.
this is the greatest produced podcast. Like the production value is through the roof. Yeah, must be amazing. Yeah. Search that guy out and give him a job because he is incredible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what his review said. Oh,
he did the laughing emoji. Oh my gosh, we've never seen Andy do any type of emojis. We're recording this on Zoom, and he just did the laughing emoji. Wow, breaking news. Okay.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. All right, what else we got?
There was a tweet put out there this week by somebody from Non-Fungible Film. I've seen Non-Fungible Film around. I've been in some spaces. I don't know too much about them, but apparently they made an offer to purchase Oniforce, the whole collection. Oh, really? Yep. And Oniforce's price doubled too.
Hey,
it went from like a quarter ETH up to like 0.6, back down to like 0.5. I sold mine.
Okay, so that was my second NFT.
Yeah.
I never know how it's said, like Uni on one, never know.
Yeah, right. Oni one, people have said. I always called it Oniforce, but yeah.
I know everyone when I say
it is,
Oni, everyone's
it's
like
0 and 1.
Yeah, 0 and 1.
If you search for it, it's 0 and 1. Yeah.
I go to my boyfriend. I'm like, listen, they're 3.5 ETH. Let's like split it. You know, like, get it. Like, I know what I'm doing now, in quote, because I had no idea what I was doing. Bought in at 3.5 and like just in holding at this point because really, I bought at like the top of the.
Didn't it go to like 10?
It went to like 7, and it was if you guys remember when that one dropped. It was like obviously Bored Apes was higher and kind of steadily get higher, but Oni was one of the very first that like shot to that price. Might have even been pre-reveal, like super fast. It was one of the first ones to ever do that. And
I remember that. Yeah. So wait, so what is yours like a rare one or is it like just what is it?
So like you're saying that shot up before reveal. This is like post reveal. I don't think it even went up this high.
Did you buy on the way up or the way down? Do you remember? I'm trying to remember how it went. Let me look on the
I think I did it on the way. I don't think it ever went up higher from where
Okay, so it came right.
Dang, that's Max Payne buying at the peak.
That one hurt.
No.
Not one of my proudest moments, but
was your boyfriend like, I actually said this was a good investment?
100%. Like I've been able to rack up more ETH, and he's like, so did you ever want to like pay me back for that?
How'd that Oni force do for you?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's like,
I'm still holding strong though. So
yeah, there we go. Okay, diamond hands over here.
Yeah, right here.
Let's see. Let me try.
Hey, maybe if they get bought out, they'll pump up.
That's exactly right. And that's even more the overarching thing. We've talked about this a lot. Projects getting bought, that you can buy the whole project and do something with it. And there's going to be some consolidation when founders start to disappear and move on. And there's going to be large companies like, I don't know about Disney, but like some of these big giant companies are just going to buy these projects because it's so easy, and you bring a whole community with you. And then you think like they could buy a few and put on some show. And then I thought, well, most of them actually give you commercial rights. So you could just buy a couple NFTs if you want to put on a show, but there will be projects that are resurrected. So if you have like
we saw Pudgy Penguins, like not that they died, but like they really shot up a lot after they got the ownership turned over.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. There were a couple other sales too, maybe some that didn't go so well, but we're starting to see it. And I think that's a really interesting aspect to what's going to happen in the bear moving forward, coming out of it. That's some of the, it'll basically be like buying your community.
Yeah. Also these projects have no exit right now. So it's like if people just want to stop, like basically that's the only way that they can. So I think we're going to see a lot more too.
Yeah. And the owners are like, people are like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's a way out. You don't have anybody up your butt anymore. Cause like, hey, what are you doing with the project? Like I know those guys that put on only for Strawberry and JR. Like I remember them from Clubhouse, and they were top of the game when this came out. That was a big deal when this one dropped.
Logan Paul bought like a rare, I don't know if they paid him to do this. I think they did, but he bought like a rare like Bumblebee one for like 600,000 like USD at the time.
188 ETH. Yep. That's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
And he says it's worth $10 now. He said, I bought this for 600 grand. It's
not worth $10. Yeah. Okay. That's a little dramatic because it's definitely not worth $10, but I get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That actually brings me to an article I read this week that I found really interesting. Not really interesting, but I thought that our listeners would like to hear it. It's celebrities and their expensive NFT purchases. So the number one is actually, they say it's Snoop, but it's Cosimo de Medici. I don't really think Snoop is controlling everything Cosimo does, but bought that X copy for 1,600 ETH. They attribute that to Snoop. Gary V bought an ape punk with an orange beanie for 1,600 ETH last July. Justin Bieber bought his Bored Ape for 500 ETH.
That crying one with the teardrop.
Mm-hmm.
The tears,
Steve Aoki bought a doodle for 270 ETH, which I'm not sure which one.
Wow.
He
bought it off of Nate Alex. He bought
really?
Didn't he buy an alien?
I'm not
sure. He bought an alien punk or alien doodle.
From Nate Alex, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It is the alien.
Oh wait, I don't know if yeah. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that. And there's not that many aliens. But anyway, okay, please continue.
Well, it's all good. Logan Paul bought his Oni Force for 188, like we said. Neymar, the football soccer player, he bought a Bored Ape for 186 ETH. Marshmello bought a Crypto Punk for 130. Madonna bought her ape for 180. Eminem bought his for 123. And Tom Brady bought one for 133. I didn't even know. It has one of those old school football helmets on. Those like leather football helmets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Or maybe it's an air. Is it an old
I know. I was going to say, I thought it was like
I think it's a pilot. I think it's a pilot, but it looks like one of those old football helmets. I didn't even know Tom Brady had one. That's how
yeah.
It used to be the biggest thing ever when these celebrities were buying in. I remember LaMelo Ball bought it like 1.4 ETH. and it like made
Oh,
shockwaves.
shoot. Yeah, totally. That was a big catalyst for the next kind of like big spike of Bored Apes. Yeah, that article, we've been getting sent articles now like saying like interesting things like that, like in our NFT Catcher Pod email. I don't know if you got it from that, but literally
No.
here's
I gotta
all
go
this
looking in there. I gotta
information.
get in there. No, I haven't really been looking there.
We literally got emailed that exact thing because I'm like, I don't think you even like look at our email. That's why I was like,
I need to get
how
in
did
there.
he
I need
see
to
that?
get in there. Yeah.
But anyway, they sent us that and they're like, if you use this story, please credit and link coingecko.com/NFT.
Oh, wow.
I guess me saying this right now. There we go. But it's just funny. I'm just like, oh, they're just like sending us information. Like sometimes you just get info. I'm like,
that's cool. That's
okay.
not bad. I gotta look in there because that's cool. I should credit if I read an article like that.
But that was the most interesting one we've got sent, to be fair.
Okay. They did send that particular information.
Yeah, they sent literally, I was following along as you were reading this.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
So another story that's really interesting. 5 people in France were charged with that phishing scheme for Bored Apes, where they set up a website that made it look like they were going to animate your ape, and it was like a verified member in the Bored Ape Discord. And they got off with $2.5 million, and Zach XBT helped the French authorities find these people, learn about it and find these people. And Plum Ferno, she talked about this on the podcast. On
our Discord security episode. Yeah. They were, I remember 2 of the main guys were like, they're like 19 or something.
They're young, yep.
I'm like, wow, they're so like smart at night. Like just and also dumb at the same time, because obviously they got caught and obviously they're doing this dumb thing. But like, I don't know. That's just like, whoa, what the heck? How do they even like, that's just insane to me.
You're right.
Oh, there's definitely some smart brains to all the scams. It's like if those people took it for good, it's like they could do great things, but they're also really smart to be able to scam all these people.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's crazy all the things people put together. I mean, I don't know if you guys are getting it. I get emails constantly now that are like, your like stupid fraud NFT we sent you has an offer for 0.2 ETH. You know, they get those constantly now. Like people probably fall for that.
And there's a whole there's a whole thread on how that's a scam, which I thought was interesting. 0x Quit wrote a thread on it, but basically, like, first of all, they made it so that you can't it can't be like transferred, the NFT. So like even if you try to click accept, like it wouldn't work. But the idea is that it's in like the details, like the information about the NFT. And the idea is that people are like, well, let me find out more information. And then they go to the site and then they connect and then they like, end up getting scammed. So that's like the kind of like the logic behind that whole thing. But yeah, those are just so, I know you're like, oh, how do I have this sweet offer on this?
Oh, really?
NFT I got sent, right? But it's like, it's not.
I remember the first time that happened, the offer was like 1.2 ETH. And I was like, wait, what? And then I looked, I was like, 0 volume. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty wild. There was a blockchain analytics company that claims that there's been over $100 million in NFTs stolen in the last year.
Wow.
Yep.
100. Wow. That's
nothing compared to that bridge we talked about last week, the 500 mil from one person.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That's fun. Yep. And I think the last thing on our list is that Beeple is building a giant physical studio in a warehouse in Charleston, which should be really
North Carolina. You know, that's where I was.
South Carolina.
Oh, damn it. That's so embarrassing. Well, I was living in North Carolina when we started the pod. But anyway, that was in South Carolina. So please disregard. That's cool. Now I have a reason to go to Charleston.
Yeah, Charleston's a cool city, actually. I like Charleston. History and it's good food and all that.
I haven't been there. I'll have to go just to see Beeple's studio.
Yeah, I've stopped there a couple times, like driving from Florida to Philadelphia and back, kind of making that drive. Yeah. Sometimes stop in Savannah. Savannah's really, really nice if you've ever been there.
I've never been to either. So
yeah, so they're both like cool Southern coastal, history.
Yeah.
Pretty cities.
Georgia's cool. I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
Georgia's beautiful. I've been to Savannah and
You get your peaches down in Georgia.
get your peaches down in
Yeah.
Georgia.
I
I don't
love
know the
that
rest
song.
of the lyrics.
I
to
get my
Justin
weed from
Bieber's song.
California.
Oh, yeah, you would like those lyrics.
That's why I love that song. I was like, oh snap.
He's like, wait. Michael's like, I can relate to that. Yes.
Yeah, so do I. Me and Justin. Like,
You're so similar.
yeah. What a week. What a lot of topics we went over. Anything you have thoughts on, Alana? We want to we finished the episode typically with the 7-day volume on all different projects off our Crypto Slam, but we could, is there anything you want to bring up or talk about, or projects you're into or artists you like, do you want to give a shout out? Like our listeners, our millions of listeners would be happy to hear. You could
millions.
We're
more than people in the space,
We're about to hit 300,000 downloads.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow,
awesome.
Really?
Yep, we're real close to 300,000.
I will shout out my boss, Drew Austin, who does Nights of DGen, which is a sports community, pretty big. I also spoke to Angelique Vendette from Aloe Yoga, but she does some art and she's just, I think, a huge person in the space. So love her. Just spoke to her this morning. And I'll just go with those two for right now because they're kind of top of mind. But appreciate you guys having me on. Been awesome to join you guys today.
Yeah, what a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I'm so glad we finally brought you on. And hopefully we'll see you down in Miami.
Yes, I will see you there. Can't wait.
Okay.
So we go to cryptoslam.io. We've been doing this since the very beginning. We go over NFT collection rankings by sales volume over the last 7 days since our last weekly recap. Number 1 this week is Bored Ape, double anybody else with over 8 million in volume. Number 2 is So Rare, still crushing it. It's the soccer fantasy card game on Ethereum. I say soccer, football, depending on where you are on the planet. Mutants are number 3 at 4.5 million. So Yuga had a really good week this week, even considering, it's funny that even when there's good news or bad news, like, you have a lot of sales. So I guess people were getting out and then getting back in. I don't even know. But number 4 is Gods Unchained. You still playing Gods Unchained?
Yes. You're an
OG. You're an OG Gods Unchained.
Actually, I'm almost at level 300. I've been playing. I
don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Basically just means I've played probably over 1,000 games. That is just basically what that means. But yeah, I honestly played probably 10 games last weekend alone. But yeah, I play every week, a couple games a week. Or if during the middle of the day I'm feeling really stressed out with work, I'll just play a couple games.
What's it like to play? What do you mean by play?
So it's kind of it's on my computer, and it's it's kind of like a strategy card game. I don't know if you've ever heard of Magic the Gathering, or it's similar to that. So it's these cards, and it's a lot of knowing what the cards do, and then there's just cards you can unlock with gaining experience, and then if you have 2 or more cards, you can fuse them together and basically mint them as an NFT. And then if you want, you can sell your cards. I've basically never made any money off of Gods Unchained. It's purely just for fun for me. But you can sell your cards. They don't really go for that much, but or you can buy cards. You can see what are the top decks that people play with certain gods and whatever. Anyway, so yeah, one of these days I will stream playing it. I've always kind of wanted to start a YouTube show or something, or a Twitch where I literally just play Gods Unchained maybe a couple times a week. I don't know. We'll see if I eventually do that or not. But yeah. Okay. And if you ever play Jennifer, that's me. That's right. Goated got the username Jennifer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So
yeah, I know. I remembered you always talking about Gods Unchained. I play Gods Unchained, and then
I know.
it started coming on this list a month ago. or a month and a half ago. It never really was on this list. And all of a sudden, it just really did really well. Azuki's number 5, your favorite project?
Why do we say that?
I don't know. It's nobody's favorite project. Art Blocks number 6, CryptoPunks number 7, Clone X number 8, which actually came down. They shot up to like almost 10 ETH when they had that video, and it's come back to where it was.
Project Animus,
which is such a pattern that we see. Like when these things pump, think about, like nothing just goes up forever. NFL All Day still doing really well. 80,000 transactions, $2 million in volume. It's actually down from last week, 20%, but doing their thing. And Ranga is number 10 at 1.5 million. That price has actually come pretty far down from its high of 3.2. It's like 1.6 now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, Ranga topping the charts. All right. We see you.
Ethereum looks like it did 60 million in sales over the last 7 days. Solana did 50.
Ethereum. Interesting.
Solana has more transactions though.
Oh.
Yeah. Solana's got double the amount of transactions, I'll say, but a quarter of the volume.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Magic Eden.
And about the same amount of buyers, 56,000 buyers on ETH, 50,000 on Solana.
Wow.
Yep.
Man, Solana's popping off.
3rd place is Immutable, 4th place is Flow in the blockchain.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, this was a fun episode, though. We got a lot of stuff covered. Good hearing your perspective, hearing about the VC side of things.
Yeah, that was
Maybe
cool.
one day we'll dive in even deeper because it's a really interesting what you guys do. And it must be so fun to hear people's pitches constantly. And like, you could probably tell some people like, this guy's just bull crap. You probably hear so much like,
100%.
Yeah, for sure. This like, he's not going to be able to do it.
And I was like, but then she's like, oh, I know what's happening.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, we'll circle back. And I'm like,
right. Like K Money says,
back.
everybody's bridging the gap and everybody's building, right? Yeah, you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if anything sounds amazing, give us a little whisper.
Oh,
shoot. Hey, is this insider trading?
Yeah, no, a whisper.
A whisper.
A nudge. I mean, nothing.
Just nudge us.
Yeah. It's fine.
Okay, well, with that said, thank you, Alana, so much for coming on the show. Everybody listening, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and we will catch you in the next one. And be sure to review if you haven't already. Goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.